Vim now. I have worked in different versions of Vim, right from 5.1 till 20.4, and I've worked in different projects related to Vim, like implementation, support, and uh, upgrade. All kind of projects I have worked, and I will be your trainer for this Vim sessions. Okay. So
Okay,
now I.
one final question from my side. I mean, before we start the session, is this
Mhm.
SAP Vim in ECC environment or S4 environment? Because last time when I joined, it was a discussion which completely dealing into ECC environment. So I just got that query.
Yeah, it is an ECC environment. Having said that, when we are talking about Vim, vendor invoice management, the core solution is still same in ECC or S4. The change what we have with the S4 part is more onto uh, the Fiori apps have been introduced. Okay, but the core solution still remains the same. And if we talk about the newer versions, the change is in the OCR part and all, not into the core Vim solution. So with the new
So
versions,
there
we
won't be
have
any.
this beyond in.
Okay,
Sorry,
my
please proceed.
question was like, is since ECC is going since S4 has started disrupting ECC, and when S4 itself is evolving every year from one version to the other version, so can we think that there won't be any S4 versions for SAP Vim, or it is already there and we are discussing only in ECC environment?
See, that's what I was trying to share, Giri. There are already S4 versions. So when we say S4 version, it is S4 compatible versions. Okay. When we talk about ECC versus S4, the database itself is different. So to ensure that the uh, solution is compatible with the new database version, there is a different version for Vim. Okay, Vim 16.3 was the first version from where the S4 compatibility had started. And with the every like the way SAP is going, that every quarter they have new versions. Similarly, there are quarterly versions for them also. So that's what you will find, that 16.3, 20.4 kind of look. So 20.4, when we say 20.4, it is Q4 of 2020. Okay, when we
Okay,
say
okay. We can go ahead.
21.3,
I
it
mean,
is
maybe
Q3
I
of
can take the further
2021.
questions at the end. Please go ahead with the session.
Yeah, 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 surely. Okay, so I wanted to complete this point. What I was sharing is that we are having like the Vim s- versions, 16.3 onwards versions are compatible with S4. Okay, that means there is a technical change on that part. Functionality wise, it is still the same. Okay, from functional point of view, from configuration point of view, it is same as that what is done in ECC. You still have these similar nodes, similar configurations. From end users point of view, the change is that for few of the actions or the activities which are carried out by the users, those are changed with the Fiori apps. So users can approve the invoices or review the invoices, review the workflow items which are with them via the Fiori apps on the go. That is the advantage from inherent advantage coming from S4. So you can access it from your mobile, laptop, or if you have tablets, anything, any of these devices, all these are supported. So that's an inherent advantage from the S4 side. But when we talk about core solution on configuration, it is moreover same, almost 85-90% it is same. The 10% change which we are saying is more about the Fiori apps, not from the core functionality point of view. Okay, so I have a small PPT. We'll go through that PPT. Okay, it tells about an introduction of the Vim. Okay, what is Vim and what are the advantages? How does it comes into picture into the SAP environment? Let me share my screen. Let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah.
Guys, can you confirm if you're able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, Sachin, we are able to see your screen.
Yes, we can
Thanks,
see
thanks
your
for
screen.
confirming. Thanks for confirming. So I am on full screen presentation mode now. So I cannot see who is speaking. So if anyone wants have any questions or any point you want to share, please share then and there itself. You can stop me and raise your questions. Okay. Along with that, say your name as well so that I understand who is having the questions or who has raised the query so that I can answer it. Okay. Is that okay with everyone?
Okay,
Yes,
Sachin.
Sachin.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, so first is introduction on the Vim. What is Vim? Vim is a product. Okay, it's a tool developed by an organization known as OpenText. Okay, OpenText AG. Okay, and the tool was developed by them in I don't recall the exact year, but long back it was developed when the version was uh, 5.1, the initial version, and then from there they have developed or enhanced the tool further along with SAP. And few years back SAP has partnered with them, so now OpenText and SAP are partners. Okay, now talking about the tool, OpenText has built this tool which is a bolt-on system. Okay, now what do I mean by bolt-on system to SAP is you need we can take a very simple example, a layman terms. If you want to bolt on something, you need a base on which you can bolt on, like screw in something, right? Similar to, so you bolt on something so that you can have a base and then you build something on top of the base. So that same what we can say, same idea is followed
So we
here.
can
So we
consider it
have
as
SAP
add-on.
system. Yeah, you add on. Okay, so
Okay.
it's an add-on itself. Okay, reason I'm using the word bolt on because it is built based on the on top of the SAP, and it is utilizing all the features, architecture, infrastructure of SAP. Okay, so we can say like it is taking all the infrastructural uh, capabilities of SAP and utilizing those. It has built a solution on top of it. Okay, or it can be considered as a custom solution which normally people build, right? So that is also in SAP. So in SAP, if you build some custom solution, it is as good as a bolt-on system. We are calling this as a system because it's a huge tool. It has a lot of tables, lot of configuration, lot of screens and all, and it drives a complete end-to-end process of P2P. Okay, so for having Vim, you need to have a base of SAP. Okay, any version of SAP will work with it, and there are different versions of Vim available according to your requirement or which suits your SAP version basically. When I say your, it could be yours, your organizations, or your clients' organizations. Okay. Since it is a separate product or a different product from OpenText, it needs a separate license. Okay, so it is not bundled along with SAP. You have to procure a separate license for OpenText Vim. Okay. The product is to support the vendor invoice processing. Okay, now it is built a solution built on top of the standard SAP P2P process or standard SAP P2P cycle. So as I said, it is utilizing all the features and infrastructure uh, things from SAP itself. So it is utilizing PO, GR, all those standard configuration from side, then posting the invoice and utilizing the standard SAP features of tax calculation, etc. from SAP again. Okay, so all those things whichever are required are utilized from SAP side, and wherever there are gap in the standard SAP cycle, those gaps are being bridged by OpenText Vim. Okay, so pre-processes, that means the data is a lot of data is pre-populated or automatically fetched and populated, okay, during the invoice processing. Various channels are supported, that is various invoice ways to get the invoices. It could be idoc, it could be xml, it could be your nfe in case of Brazil, it could be email channel, it could be a physical invoice. So different ways or different channels for invoices are supported. There is a workflow inbuilt. So it starts with a workflow itself. So your document gets created uh, with the workflow, and then the workflow follows approval process, and a lot of flexibility and customization is available. Okay, so when I say flexibility, there is a lot flexibility at every stage, every step. There is an option to customize it as per your need, okay, or as per our organization's need.
Sachin,
Okay.
I got a query here. I
Yes.
mean, basic thing. See, just like you said, yes, we have taken the points as considered, but the very basic thing, like SAP itself has evolved from 4.6 to 6.0 ECC version, and then S4 from 1510 to 2023, 2024 version. So now, having
Yeah.
said all
Yeah.
this, having evolving all these versions, this product of P2P and AP cycle is proven product in ECC and S4 HANA. Then, in spite of having the greater proven product in SAP, ECC, and S4 HANA, which is the latest version, what is the need of going a customer to Vim? In spite of having the
Mm-hmm.
end-to-end solution in S4 itself, what is the point in going to Vim? What is that value addition that it
I'll tell
gives
you.
to the
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. See, if you look even from SAP, right from I won't say from ECC. Let's consider from 4.7, SAP 4.7 or 4.6 to ECC to S4 15.10, and now till 2023, right, 24 version. Do you see any difference in the invoice processing? There are new features which are being brought up in different areas, but the P2P process is still same. You still have the same PO creation, same GR creation, right? There are new tools being brought in like Ariba, right, which are helping in this procurement process of you can have the like shopping carts getting created in Ariba, and then based on that the PO getting created and all. But if you look into the SAP side, right, you still have the same process, same flow. There is no change in that, right? The way invoice was posted earlier, the same is now as well. There is no change in Miro. There is no change in Migo as such. Correct. Now, having said that, yes, there are few changes which I can say is like when, say for example, when GST was brought in for India, they have introduced few fields in Miro as well to consider those fields for GST calculation and all. But from an overall invoice processing cycle or invoice processing experience, this it is still same. A few fields here and there addition, right? There's no change as such. So the flaws which were available in the older version are still available in the newer version also. And that is where you need this custom tool. The reason why this tool is surviving in the market, because they have tried to cover different challenges which organizations were facing. Okay. So very simple example we can say is that the approval workflow which they have brought in, right? So this approval workflow is much more flexible and easy to configure, and it ensures that there is no fraudulent postings. There is a lot
we
of
do have
automation brought in by,
we do have
sorry.
the workflow even in S4 as well. We have Excel template
Yeah.
upload process, XML template upload process,
Yes.
interface with Excel. We have already all these things functionality available in S4. Why?
Agreed.
What is the need
See, that's
of
what I'm
Vim
saying. See,
here?
you have flexible workflows available in S4,
Hmm.
right? But do you have workflow configured for invoice processing?
Yes, we do.
I guess it is for approval process only. Mostly workflow is used,
It is
but
approval. It
specifically
is
for
approval for.
invoice, it is not there.
Yes, the
No,
normal,
the
the
we,
flexible workflow which is available for the in approval is more from an journal entry point of view, not from invoice point of view.
Correct.
so that's what I mean. Workflow itself is whenever something is created in the system, in order to post or not to post, that is what we will take approval. Then, what is the invoice workflow? How is that like?
So, see, when we are talking about Vim workflow, right? So it is
Mhm.
a workflow getting triggered, which will have a lot of automation also, as I was talking about that automation part, right? So when you post an invoice, you have a process of like once we move ahead, can we continue with this question once we cover a couple of more slides? Then you will be able to understand
Okay,
it
no
in a
problem,
better
no
way.
problem.
Yeah, I'll continue with that
Okay.
part as well, right?
Yeah, yeah,
What is why you need Vim as such? Okay,
yeah.
so and one simple statement which I'll give is like uh, this is one of the market leading product now. If you look into the market, right, for invoice processing, even SAP, if you search for nowadays, instead of saying open text Vim, it is called as SAP Vim. As SAP and OpenText has already partnered, SAP themselves are marketing that for invoice processing you should go with SAP Vim, which is nothing but OpenText Vim. Okay, and this is as you said, like we have a proven product, so Vim is also have become a proven product over the years. People are using it, and it is one of the market leader. So we will cover this point, or we'll continue with this point in a few slides further also. Okay.
I think
What
Sachin,
I
we
was
can carry on
talking
with the
about
session.
before this
Sachin, one
question.
one thing. Sachin, hello. Sachin, can you please
Yes,
carry
yes,
on with the
yes,
session because
yes.
it is just consuming our time. So once you go through the session, we will have the Q&A session at the end of the part. That would be great, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely fine. So, see, I'm not obstructing that we can have Q&A at the end, because if someone has a basic query or not able to understand what I'm trying to convey, it's better to clear there itself, right? So that is the reason. And for your this point, as I said, yes, we will continue with this question further. And once we go through these slides, we can discuss further again. Like we can continue with the discussion towards the end also. Okay, so yeah, coming back to point, I was saying that yeah, the flexibility customization point we have covered, and then I was talking about that since SAP and OpenText have partnered together, they are working together and they are doing co-development. Okay, so that is where your we are getting a support for all the versions. Okay, so all the versions of SAP are supported by Vim or vice versa. Like we have a Vim product available to support all different versions of SAP. The product expansion is working fine, where they again the co-development comes into picture, where they are developing together any new feature SAP is planning to bring in, or if any legal requirement is coming and SAP is building some solution. OpenText is also working together, and they are building a overall uh, solution together. For example, when there was a legal requirement in 2019 for Italy for e-invoicing, the SAP came up with a solution of e-document cockpit, or nowadays it is called as document compliance or compliance uh, solution, right? So this solution, when they brought in, OpenText has done a co-development where your vendor invoice documents are integrated with the e-document cockpit solution, and when the invoice is received from the tax authorities in the XML format, e-document is created as per the standard SAP solution, and from that e-document itself a Vim document is automatically created. So that integration kind of thing, this kind of solutions or product expansions are done by OpenText along with SAP. Okay, and new technology. When we talk about new technology, OpenText has a product which is part of the overall solution. Okay, which is OCR solution, and in that they are bringing new technology, ML, AI, all that stuff with the OCR technology. Like in the OCR technology, they are using this different, uh, uh, you can say like different algorithms or the technology, they are basically upgrading themselves to a newer version or a newer level to have a better recognition, better output. Okay. Any questions so far on this one? Okay. So Vim solution features, it is out of the box scenario. So it comes as a pre-configured system. So once you install the components, once you have the product available, then you can start using directly out of the box. Okay. It comes as a pre-configured system. Pre-configured rules, roles, and actions. So different roles are available as pre-configured, and then you can have the users assigned to the roles and start using the product as is. Unless and until you have some requirement which is not fulfilled by the standard, then you can customize those if required. Otherwise, you can start using as is. Automation and collaboration. So this is the point which I was trying to say, that it brings a lot of automation. When you are processing the invoice, there are different challenges can be faced practically. Some data is missing, some data is incorrect, something like that. Something is given in the invoice, but it is not meeting the scenario as per your SAP configuration and all. So all those different configurations or different scenarios can be taken care with the exception handling, where you and automatically a task is being sent to the corresponding team. Okay, and they can take an action. So that's where your workflow also plays a role, that your workflow task is automatically sent to the corresponding team to take necessary action, and overall it improves the productivity. It increases the basically it increases the efficiency and reduces the overall turnaround time. Okay. Direct access to information is like, apart from the SAP roles, okay, there is a different role concept within Vim, which is used for different actions and different activities. And with that SAP, with that additional role concept in Vim, the information which should be available with the corresponding user is available only with those users. Okay, and this is directly available within the SAP GUI system or Fiori system also. Like Fiori apps are also available with the newer version when we are talking about like SAP S4 compatible versions. Okay, within GUI also this concept applies, and there also the current relevant information is available. So SAP GRC roles is also playing available for authorization control. In addition to that, Vim roles are also there within the Vim to control certain actions and activities. Machine learning and AI, as I was sharing earlier, this is part of the OCR solution. When the invoice is submitted for optical character recognition, the data is extracted from the invoice and sent to SAP system for pre-population. So data is the data entry part is automated with that. ECM integration or other product integration. OpenText has a few other products like OpenText Archive Server, OpenText ECM. Okay, OpenText OCR is one of these again different product. All these different products or any other product can also be very well integrated or very easily integrated with Vim processes. As I was talking, like e-document cockpit was integrated with Vim, or Ariba can be very easily integrated with Vim. And any other tool, if you have any third-party tool or any other tool, then it can be very easily integrated with Vim. Any questions on this?
Yes, one question, Sachin. Like on the integration part, when you're saying, when we're speaking about integration, like with the third-party tools, it is the same way that now which SAP and S4HANA is going with other third-party tools integration, or is there any different method or a way that it integrates with Vim with the OpenText related sub-modules?
No, see, OpenText related submodules, as I select, first of all, OpenText submodule or Vim itself is part of SAP itself, right? So if you want to integrate anything first, it has to be integrated with SAP. So data has to reach into the SAP. And further, what I meant by integration is that, say, for example, your uh, vendor is sending some invoice in some other format, right? Or from some other tool. Or
Okay.
if you're receiving, say, invoices from Ariba, so it's a third party tool. Or if you're having any other SRM tool like Basware, you're receiving data from Basware. So in that case, once you receive the data from the tool, how to create a vendor invoice for that. So that integration part I was talking about, that it is very easy to integrate. So creating a vendor invoice out of the data which is available, right? How do you integrate is the part of it. I
Okay,
hope I
so
was
we
able
have
to answer your
separate
question.
integration. Yeah, we have separate integration layers based on the data which we are receiving.
No. Again, I see, when you're talking about integration layer, you're talking about middleware, right?
Exactly, exactly about
No,
middleware.
no.
I'm mentioning.
Middleware has nothing. Like middleware will remain same. Okay. So say for example, if you
Okay.
are having a PI system or a CPI system, right? You would still use the same middleware system. Okay. What integration, by integration, what I meant was that bringing that data into Vim module. So once you receive the data in CPI and CPI sends it to SAP, right? You would need something to process it in to ensure that that data flows into Vim, right?
Yes.
So that part, what I meant by integration was that part, that once you receive the data in SAP, how can you bring that data into Vim?
Okay. Got it, Sachin.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move forward quickly. This is a small slide for benefits. So as I shared that it has automation and collaboration, which brings into uh, reducing your turnaround time for every invoice processing, increases the efficiency and productivity. So that's how it overall accelerates your operations, boosts the productivity and revenue. Okay, revenue in terms of cost saving, because overall your uh, turnaround time is reducing, right? Hence, you might also need a smaller team to process the same uh, volume of invoices. That's how saving your costs, right? Promotes the compliant and prevent frauds. As I said again, it is compliant with the or in alignment with the SAP compliance tool. It is integrated with the Vim, so e-document cockpit and all, that ensures that you're legally compliant all with the legal requirement for every country. Depending on different countries, what is your requirement, compliance is met. And with the workflow and other uh, checks which are available within Vim, it ensures that there is no fraudulent activities happening. Profit out of the box approach is like, as I shared in the earlier slide, since you can use the product out of the box directly, you can start gaining all these benefits and hence the profit out of the box, right? And along with that, it is flexible enough as per your need to have customizations. Okay, now this is in this slide I'm trying to depict a typical cycle of invoice processing, how an invoice is processed within SAP. You receive an invoice, then data entry part happens, load the metadata, then somebody will validate the metadata, check all the business rules or sorry, check all the fields if those are populated correctly as per the different scenarios business wants to have, and then uh, it goes for processing and a document is posted in SAP. Oh, this same process, same flow is captured in Vim as well. Okay, so that we are not missing out any information, there is no loss of information. As well as having said that, it also has automation and better efficiency to process the invoices. So this is how it will work within the Vim, that you receive the invoice. So as soon as the invoice is received, it will be archived for the future reference perspective, okay, from audit point of view or any reference required in future. Second part is capturing the metadata. So there you have an optional tool which is OCR. Okay, uh, that is again offered by OpenText. You can use different OCR tools here. Those can be integrated. You can use OpenText OCR tool, or you can use any third-party OCR tool as well. And those third-party OCR tool also can be integrated very well with Vim. Okay, so metadata part is, or the data entry part is something which is can be done manual, or it can be automated using the OCR option. Third part is the this validate data, apply, check duplicates, business apply business rule. This all is done automatically. This all part is automated. Okay, if if there are any errors or any exceptions, then for each of these step there is exception handling. If there is no exceptions raised, it will go for approval, and post approval the document is posted. After the approval, the document is posted in SAP as an invoice. So your invoice gets posted. So here's the automation part comes, where your all the fields are validated, all your business rules are automatically applied. There are few fields which are automatically populated. If you're having OCR, then the data entry part is also automated. So this all brings uh, efficiency to the invoice processing. It reduces turnaround time. Okay. This is the another view of showing the same flow. Okay, this is more from how the invoice physically received will go into different systems or different modules. Different ways of receiving the invoice. It could be your physical invoice, it could be in the form of an email attachment, email invoice in an email attachment. It could be in e-invoicing, e-invoices from the e-document cockpit module, or it could be IDOC format. Any of these formats, if you receive the invoices in any of these formats, this will flow further. In case of physical invoice, we scan the invoice and convert that into digital, raw digital format. Or if you receive a PDF attachment in an email, that is also a raw PDF, raw digital attachment. These are stored in the archive server for the future references, and then this can be sent further to OCR, okay, for data extraction and validation. Further, that is the extraction validation, and further it will come into SAP system. So that is the case of your, when you're receiving a raw digital format, that is a PDF copy. And in case if you're receiving the invoices in terms of e-invoicing or iDocs, which is structured data, structured digital format, in that case, it directly comes to SAP and it registers a Vim document. Once the Vim document is registered, or your information is populated, the indexing will happen, or the data entry will happen, all the business rules will be checked. Okay, and if everything is fine, then it will go further for approval, and posting will happen. In that also, it has a different scenarios. PO process, it will follow the three-way match. That is again leveraging the SAP standard SAP uh, feature of three-way match, where it will check PO, GR, and invoice. And if there is any discrepancy, quantity discrepancy or price discrepancy, there is a separate workflow triggered for approval, for approving this discrepancy. Until that, the invoice will be blocked. So that's the standard way of processing, but this all is happening via the workflow. And in case of FI invoices, it will go for approval, and post approval, the invoice is posted and released for payment. Now, with all this, it also gives you reporting solutions. So you have quite a few reports which are given by OpenText, and these reports can be utilized for validating overall performance of the tool, of the team. Okay, you have different KPI reports available. you have the aging bucket report available. All those are available with your tool. Okay, so this covers the process flow part of it. The next couple of slides, I have just added to give you a glimpse on what level or how deep will be going into the sessions, and what kind of configurations will be covered during the sessions, what concepts we will be discussing. This is one example of archival, which is the very initial stage. So how the archival is done, what are the different steps required to configure the archival, how this will work, all this concept we will be discussing during the detailed sessions. Okay, so how what is content repository, why do we configure content repository, what are presetting folders, what is archive document type, how it is linked to Vim, why we need this archive document type, right? What are the SAP objects linked to archive document type, and how does this plays a role in the overall Vim flow. This all we will be discussing in the detailed sessions. So this is one example of archival. Similarly, we'll be going into detail of each and every step of Vim processing or the Vim configurations, and how those configurations are impacting the Vim invoice processing flow. Okay, how you can control the flow, what different kind of features and possibilities are available within the Vim. That all we will be discussing. And this is a different view for portraying different concepts. This is a kind of a mind map view for a concept of DP document type, how DP document type in Vim is linked to different concepts around it. Okay, what is like process type, what is characteristic, what is indexing, document process and determination sequence, and all this, how these are linked to each other, how it impacts or affects each other. So this linkage or this depiction will give an understanding on if you change something, where all it can have an impact. So this is one it's just a depiction of these concepts. So that is what all I wanted to share from Vim side. Now we can go with the questions what you had. So Giri, I think you had that question. So was I able, or like with these slides we went through, did it answer your question, or do you still have any query on that part?
Sachin, Giri left the call. Sachin.
Oh, Giri left the call.
Okay, Sachin, Sirish here.
Okay,
I have
so
a
anyone
question.
else has any other questions on Vim? Yes, please.
Sachin, do we have a certification for this
Yes, Harish, please go
vendor
ahead.
invoice? Do we have a certification for this vendor invoice management in SAP
Yes, there is a certification from OpenText. In
from
OpenText, so
OpenTech?
it's not
In
in SAP. You have a, yeah, you have certification available from OpenText.
okay,
If you
okay,
search for certification certification for OpenText Vim, you will find that it is available on opentext.com. Also, if you go there, also you can go through the menu and you will find certification options.
okay, nice. And one more thing, do you have any competitive tool similar like to vendor invoice management?
You mean to say like what are the other competitors for Vim?
Yes, yes, exactly. Or this is the one, for example, if we have CRM tool, for example, MS Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics is a CRM tool, and as well as like Salesforce CRM is a CRM tool. And in SAP, we
Mm-hmm.
separately have a CRM. So similar to that, like, do you have any other tools which support the vendor invoice management other than OpenText Vim?
See, Ariba
Just a
is
question,
one of
like,
the system, right, where you can have this man. Yeah, yeah. So I'm sharing the Ariba is one of the tool, right? SRM tool where you can have vendor, everything there. You can have PO there, you can have GR there, and you can also have invoice there, right?
okay,
So it handles the vendor invoices also, but that is all in the Ariba system. When you're talking about Vim, it is closely integrated with SAP. right? So when you are having Ariba, you still have to integrate Ariba with your SAP system to bring in those invoices into SAP, because all other activities of your organizations or your ERP system, if your ERP system is SAP, right, for your organization, then you have to bring that data into SAP.
Correct.
Am I correct?
Correct.
So from that perspective, you need to build those integrations, right, and then bring those invoice data or that information into SAP. From that point of view, Vim is built in within the SAP itself, right? And when we talk about
O-
Ariba or any other such tool, then it has their own limitations. Not all the vendors enroll to Ariba. Okay,
Okay.
not
One
all the
last
vendors
question,
enroll to any other system.
Sachin. I got your
So
point.
let me
One last
just, I
question.
wanted to add one more. I wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah,
add one
sure.
more line. So when we talk from an SAP point of view, you need some solution to process your invoices from all these different sources, right? Either it is Ariba, non-Ariba, it could be Basware or any other tool, right? If some vendor is directly sending invoice in a physical format, or someone is sending a invoice in XML format via e-invoicing, all these different scenarios are covered within Vim. There is no other tool which is as versatile as Vim to cover all these scenarios.
Okay. So one last question I have, Sachin, is that regarding the opportunities on this thing. So for the vendor invoice management,
Mhm.
assume that like I'm a consultant with SAP consultant with 12 years of experience, and I've been working on latest modules till 2020 version on S4 HANA. So that's my where I work on
Yes,
order
yes.
management process. Now it is totally different. Like when I'm moving, it is vendor invoice management. How would be the opportunities
Mhm.
focus?
See, Vim is a niche area. Okay, so you will not find anything available in market. You try to do that search or exercise. You search on Google for vendor invoice management, open text vendor invoice management. You will hardly find one or two blogs, nothing beyond that. That is very introductory thing that is kept into the market so that people know that there is a product, and to learn that further you have to enroll somewhere. Okay, now open text has their own classroom trainings available and certifications available, but those are too costly. Okay, so last time what I remember is when I had checked, the certificate, the classroom training was somewhere 5 days for $500.
Okay, that's fine, Sachin. It was nice session and
Yeah,
informative.
Sachin, I mean, when you provide a system access, do you also provide access to the OCR also?
Good question. So, having said that, as I said, shared in my session, that OpenText has different products. So, OCR is one of the different product. It needs a separate license. Right now, what we have is the license for OpenText itself. So, we have this SAP system in which we have OpenText component installed, or the Vim installed. Basically, we have this Vim system available. We do not have any other systems available like OCR or Archive Server. So that is where we have a little bit challenge or shorthand. Uh, but we do cover all the configurations related to OCR. Okay. What are like when we talk about OCR, there are certain configurations required on SAP side, certain configurations required on OCR side. So we do cover all those configurations or the activities which are required.
Okay.
But practically we are not able to test those, or we can say like play around with those with practically with the practical sessions. We cover the
Okay.
theory sessions for those scenarios.
Got
Rest
it.
all we cover in the practical as well as theory both.
Okay. Got it, Sachin.
Hi, Sachin. I'm Vijay.
Yes. Yeah, hi Vijay.
Uh, yeah. So if in Vim we are using the workflows, so whether we are using the standard
Yes.
one or which are designed by SAP or Vim, or we are using the custom workflow which are developed by developers.
I didn't get you, sorry, could you repeat? I lost a little bit in information in between. So when you said like we are using workflow, what next to that?
Yeah, we are using workflows in SAP Vim for the approval process. So whether we are using the standard workflows or custom workflows.
This is what we can say, like it is not standard SAP workflows. Okay, so from that point of view, if I say it's a custom workflow, but these workflows are developed by open text, right? So we cannot go and change the workflows there. So it is as good as a standard workflow for us from open text.
Okay. For example, like in for the PO based approval, so PO header level approval, we are using the standard,
Hmm.
SAP Vim developed workflow. So the same way we have
Hmm.
a PO line item level approval in the same way like standard Vim workflow, or we have to go with the custom if in such type of requirement.
No, see, when we are talking about Vim workflows, there are these open text developed standard workflows available, and we have to use those, right? We do not have an
Okay.
option of having a custom workflow for one of the scenario. Okay.
Okay.
Now, having said that, if you need to have a line item level approval or header level approval, those are all configuration for the approval framework. When we talk about approval part of it, we can discuss those in detail when we talk about those in the detail sessions. So there are line item level approval, header level approval, different kind of approvals are available. In case of PO scenarios, basically the header level approval is something which is sought by most of the organizations in the market. Okay.
Okay.
Because normally you will have one PO and one requisitioner, right? You don't have
Yeah.
different requisitioners for different POs, or the PO owner, basically, I would say. You will have one single PO owner for a PO, correct? And then you
Correct.
get an approval from the PO owner. Now, how this PO owner is determined, how the approver is determined, that is all part of the approval determination concept and the roles concept.
Okay. Based on the chart of authorities, like what we maintain.
Different thing. Yeah, there are a lot of other things. So chart of
Okay.
authority, if I think you have already worked on Vim, so you know some concepts. It might not be the others might not be aware about it, but chart of authority is more relevant to non-PO scenarios, not to PO. But there are different roles which are available, and based on that we can have this. There you can have you do have an option of customizing also how you want to determine your approver. You
Okay.
can follow the
Okay.
standard one, or you can have custom one also. How to determine the approver?
Okay. So we can use our custom code, right? For example, enhancement, like each and every
Yeah,
step,
yeah.
like
There are
there is
lot of there are lot of enhancements available. So I won't say enhancements. There are a lot of hooks and plugins given where you can add your own code. Okay, and this all code, custom code and all is driven by configurations on top of it. So you can control.
okay.
So you have written certain code and you want to use it, you can add into the configuration, use it. If you do not want to use it, you can remove from the configuration, and you can have that like effect of that code out of your picture. There is
Okay. Okay.
a
Okay.
lot of flexibility available. You have function modules or class and methods. You can write those class methods, custom methods and all, and then you can configure those methods. So as far as those are configured, those will be triggered. If you remove from the configuration, those will be not triggered.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Sachin. Thanks for the answer. I got it. And one more thing, like Vim online server access, like may I know the price of that online server access, like
Normally, you will not get server access anywhere as such, because, as I said, this is a licensed product, right? So it's not
yes.
available as such anywhere else. You need to, so the way, like, we have procured a license, and that's the reason we are having access available. That's what we are utilizing during our classes. If you want to have
Okay.
only the SAP access or the Vim access for your practicing purpose and all, you can connect to Subbu. That's a different part of it. As a part or as a included as a part of the course itself, you get an access for practicing, and that access will be with you until the class is continued. So once the batch is completed, then your access will also be revoked after the. And if you still need further the access, you can reach out to Subbu, and then he might be able to help you.
Okay. Okay. And may I know the course
Okay.
duration, like 1 month or 2 months?
Yeah. So coming to the batch timings, okay, and the session timings, uh, we would have one session of 1 hour every day, Monday to Friday. Okay. And the batch timings, when we talk about, I do not limit the batch timings because I do not want to hurry, or what I can say is that I just don't want to complete the sessions or the concepts for the namesake. Okay, so if any concept requires additional sessions, we do continue. I do take those sessions until and unless the attendees are comfortable and confident enough to move further. We do not move further. Hence, I do not give a commitment on the batch timings. Okay. Having said that, in general, if we are continuing with the normal class, with the normal uh, learning pattern, okay, based on the past experience, we do cover one batch in 2 months.
Sachin, Sarish here. I have one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just one thing, like in case if any person is interested who is like just a fresher kind of guy who has a MBA graduate with the best like domain experience of some accounts or of some any other back office, would he be able to cope up with this training, or like do you have any prerequisites that he need to have some knowledge on the order management process, something like that? Because there is one guy who
Prerequisite
is.
would be to, yeah, I understood. So I'll say, like, yes, that person can join the class and sessions. Okay, that should not be a challenge. If a person who is working already, then he should be able to grasp the new concepts. That should not be a challenge with that. And we will be explaining that in enough depth, and enough explanation will be provided to make the person understand, right? Having said that, for a person who is not having any experience or any background in SAP, it would be recommended for the person to go through the basic SAP thing, or some videos and some practice on SAP, so that the person is aware about the SAP look and feel and the atmosphere and the different concepts of standard SAP. Like when we talk about function modules or class or table, field, that person should be able to understand that what we are talking about, right?
Yes, got it.
So
So
basic understanding of SAP and basic understanding of P2P process. Both of these can be very easily done via YouTube videos. You have very good YouTube videos available for standard SAP concepts of P2P process and the standard SAP overall look and feel and a basic understanding of SAP.
okay,
So
Sachin, I got the information.
that
That
would be
covers
kind
my
of a
question.
prerequisites. So yeah, that will help the person to understand. It's not, I would not say that it is a mandatory, but it will help the person to grasp the concept quickly.
So the Sachin, the class timings will be the same timings as of this demo timings or any other timings every day?
No. Class timings would be normally from uh, 9 to 10. Okay. In case if there is a demand, then it might be 8:30 to 9:30. Otherwise, it would be 9 to 10. So, like, request with everyone is, you can share your name and the preferred timing, okay, for the batch, for the sessions, okay, with Subbu. So once you share those details with Subbu, we'll go through the details and see what is the majority ask is, and then we schedule the classes accordingly. Okay, and one more clarification, this I'm talking about morning timings. Okay, so 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. or 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Probably 9 a.m., like preferably 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. If the demand is there, then it would be 8:30 to 9:30.
Okay. Do you also record the sessions and provide it, or if you miss any
Yes,
class?
yes, we do record all the, no, we do record all the sessions, and link for every recording or recording of every session will be shared with you guys. Okay. So I am Sachin and I am the trainer. So I look after the training and the content part of it. Subbu is the admin. So he looks after all the meeting invites, recordings, recording links, okay, sharing those links with you guys, and your fees part. All this is managed by Subbu. Okay. So you can reach out to Subbu, share your details and preferred time so that we can plan for the batch. Any other questions?
No, Sachin, we are good. Thank you. Thanks for answering all questions.
Okay, so Raghu, Sirish, Sashidhar, Vijay, okay, you share your details with Subbu and then we can start the batch as soon as possible.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so we'll close today's session then. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining the session.
Thank you.
Yes, somebody
Thank
has
you,
raised a
Sachin.
question. Okay, fine. Thank you.